recover if you feel like your most recent launch you've done was a bit of a flop? I'm going to give you 7 tips today to really help you to be able to deal with the recent launch and help you be able to recover and try again and make the next launch that you do even better. When you're launching a product, it's so easy to kind of look at other coaches, other course creators, and see these massive successes with them having these 6-figure launches and all these people signing up. You're there putting out maybe your first offer, or it might be just a new offer that you've created, and you either get zilch or maybe you only get one sign up and you're just kind of left feeling like, what the hell? Is it me? What have I done wrong? And it just can spiral into this downward pity party, can't it? I've had my fair share of flops when I was first creating, my first course, and I've had programs that I've created. I've been so excited thinking, these people are going to love it. I love it. Everyone I talk to says, this sounds great. And then you put it out there and it's like, mew. But what I want you to think about is, at the end of the day, even when you see those successes from those big names that you see, or maybe it feels like everyone around you is just having more luck and they seem to just be doing something right, and you're like left wondering what the hell is going on. But I want to remind you, all of those successes that you see, they will have all, without doubt, I could probably almost guarantee that every single person that you see having these big success have had their fair share of the flops too. They've all would have gone through that as well. The problem is that people just don't talk about the flops. They don't talk about the failures very much. And all you hear is the big wins. And actually, I want to kind of break the stigma a bit and normalize the fact that these things happen. The reality, though, when you're doing a launch and it feels like a flop, is it's disappointing, isn't it? You've worked so hard on something, put in all these hours to come up with an idea, put together all the technical stuff, creating all the content to promote it, and you're so excited, like, yes, let's go. And it's so disappointing. Just know it's totally normal and it's totally okay to feel like that. You haven't got to pretend that you're like, okay, and you can just, brush it off. It does hurt. Let's be real. But what you don't want to do is let it fester too much and really kind of let that self-doubt sort of swallow you up. What happens is, when that happens, and again, I've gone through this recently myself, is when you allow that doubt to really spread through your mind and your thoughts start going into all the negative crap, is you end up hiding. You end up wanting to stay in the shadows a bit. And so I really hope that these tips are going to help you. And these are things that I go through and I'm constantly sort of going through again and again and again to kind of bring myself out of that disappointment and that self-doubt cycle that can happen. And let's say, help you to really get back on that horse and feel more confident knowing that it's not going to stop you, right? Because at the end of the day, you have come far too far to let things stop you. So let's dive into these 7 tips. Number 1, have a good cry. Let it out. We feel the feels. We feel emotional. I'm going to give you permission to, please, if you want to cry, just cry. Sometimes you just need to get those emotions out. Let out that frustration. If you want to go and scream and shout, do whatever you need to do, but let it out. You'll feel so much better afterwards. It's going to get rid of that sort of het up tension, and just know that it is okay. You've been working your ass off. You've been hustling. So you're probably tired. You're frustrated. You're disappointed. So it's absolutely okay to let it out. Number 2 is assess what really happened with facts rather than emotion. When we get too emotional about things, that's where all the fluff and that's where the damage can be done, because we take it to heart. We feel like it's us. We feel like we're not good enough. We feel like, what did I do wrong? Is it me? There's so many things that go on in our minds when we feel like we've had a bit of a flop. The best way to do that is to look at data. So grab all of your metrics that you've got. And if you haven't tracked anything, make sure that you write that down to do next time. Because the thing is, when you can look at numbers and you can look at data, that's where you're going with that logic side of things. And it's about facts. You can't get emotional about a number. So you can really look at things about what really happened. Sometimes things aren't actually as much of a flop as you thought. Maybe you only got a few signups, and maybe you were expecting more, but at the end of the day, you still got some. When you can look at numbers like how many views did you get on maybe a sales page? How many signups did you get for your webinar? Look at your page numbers. How many people watched your video? There's lots of different metrics that you can look at, but it's really good to kind of look at all of those things. I love a spreadsheet, so I have spreadsheets for everything, but it helps me to be able to take the emotion out and focus on facts. Sometimes it might just be that there weren't enough people. We work with conversion rates. You want to know, okay, well, roughly you might get 10% of people signing up. If it's to a kind of cold audience, people who've no idea who you are, it's going to be more like 1 to 2%. So, based on numbers, did your sales page or your offer get enough views? So sometimes it's not even about what you did. It's not like you didn't do anything wrong, but sometimes it might just be that not enough people saw it. It might be that maybe your promotion wasn't long enough. Maybe you did a bit of a quick launch, and I've done those before, and I only promoted it for a week, but maybe it wasn't every day. It might have only been a few times a week. So, was your promotion long enough? Did enough people get to hear about it on the different channels and platforms that you might be using? Was there part of your process that maybe worked really well, but there was one particular piece that might have seen a bit of a drop off? So, for example, if you were doing a webinar and you got lots of people coming to your webinar, but either they didn't stay to hear your pitch, or maybe people heard it, but they just didn't buy, it helps you to be able to see what part of your process might need more attention. So, when you can use data and facts and metrics, it helps you to really be able to dissect what and where might be worth focusing on next time. You can also see what stuff is working, so then you can keep doing that again next time. Number three, then, is you're going to ask yourself three really simple questions, and you can use these questions for everything that you do. What worked? What worked about your launch? So, really important to celebrate the things that did work, recognize the things that worked. And it's not just about the outcome. It can also be, and it's actually, this is almost more important sometimes, is actually looking at the things that you did. So, what worked about what you did? And then you can look at what worked about the process and the results and things like that. So, for example, did you show up consistently regardless of what was going on in terms of how many people actually maybe signed up and bought? That is a great thing, and that worked. Did you, do a video, and that really worked because you were able to explain your offer, you got to show your personality and who you are, and that kind of thing? That might work. So list out all of those things that worked, celebrate those things, and really highlight the stuff that you were like, yep, that's a keeper. So it's important to have those down so you can take those as like your best practices for next time. The second question is then what didn't work. So again, recognize the things based on facts, based on numbers, based on, the logical part. Look at the things that maybe didn't work. Was your timeline too short? That's quite a common one. Sometimes we feel like we can get all this stuff done. And especially when it's something brand new, things take way longer than you expect. So maybe something that didn't work was how much time you gave yourself to get everything prepared, the content written, and all that kind of stuff. Ad didn't work. If you were doing a Facebook ad or something, maybe it didn't bring in the results like you wanted. That's been one of my recent ones. So my ad wasn't as effective. So it didn't work quite so well. Then the third question is, what might I do differently next time? So you take the lessons, you take the learnings from the things that didn't work and go, okay, well, what might I do next? What might I try differently next time? What might I tweak from something that you've got and try differently? So it might be, testing out a different headline or some different copy. It might be trying a different audience. It might be having a longer launch, it might be shortening it, all these different things. So, what might you do differently? The fourth step, the fourth tip then is make a plan for that next attempt. So, now you've done that assessment, you've evaluated the things that worked and that didn't, and you're going to try out differently next time. Make a plan for that. Again, maybe you're going to give yourself more time to write more meaningful, connecting content. Maybe you're going to have some budget and actually use some Facebook ads if you haven't done that before. Maybe you'll try a different format of your promotion. Maybe you'll test a new headline. These are all things that you can make in your plan. So make a plan of things that you're going to do, and you don't have to overwhelm yourself by trying to do it all on that first go. Maybe you'll just pick one or two things. Again, try to keep things simple so you're not going to feel too overwhelmed and overloaded, which then might, be a bit too much to make your next launch, less effective. The fifth step, and this is really important, and this is quite often where things do that do make a launch feel like a bit of a flop. And so that tip is to double down on your messaging. We see how great we've created these ideas, we've created this offer, and we're like, this is awesome. But maybe it's just not coming through so powerfully enough in your copy. For example, I released a new offer earlier in the year. First launch, it was a brand new one-to-one offer, and I got 2 signups. So that was really great. I wanted 5, but I got 2, but it was quite, it was a high ticket thing for me. So I was really pleased. And then for the next reopening, I got some help from one of my mentors, just said, I want to reopen things. Any suggestions? And he suggested to me by adding a video on my sales page, because he said, look, you're the thing they buy. He said, you've got your humor, your smile, like people, you're excited about your offer. And that doesn't, he said, it's not quite coming through in the written copy on the sales page. So I took that and I said, okay, so I created a video so I could show me and my personality. That might be something to consider. Look at your offer messaging. Are you really portraying the solution that you are going to be giving them from your product or service or offer? Is it clear who it's for? Is it really what your ideal customer, ideal client are needing and wanting right now? So sometimes we just need to, again, take away our lens, because we get so close and so bogged down in the detail that sometimes we don't see things. So have a look back through yourself. Ask somebody else to take a look. Maybe you've got friends who are in the industry, or you've got mentors or anything like that, and see if there's anything that maybe it's just not clear, or maybe there's some things that you can tweak. So really doubling down on that messaging can really, really help. Sometimes it's a really simple tweak, like a headline or, your opening statement, that can literally be the difference. For example, I did a webinar once and I changed the headline, like the title of the webinar. My registrations increased by 50%. They doubled, which was amazing, just from changing the headline alone. So that's why it's really important to get some help if you need to, and just try something else, because it literally might be that one thing that can make things be more effective. Number 6 is then remind yourself, and this is really important, remind yourself that you are awesome. Remind yourself that what you've got is going to make a difference. It is going to help people. It's a fantastic offer. Remind yourself of that when that little doubt devil is sitting on your shoulder and he's trying to get in your ear and he's trying to make you, feel crappy about yourself. Remind yourself however often you need. Don't let that doubt spread too much. It happens. It creeps in. You've just got to, capture it, smash it in the face and say, no, I can do this. Because the problem is, when you allow it to come in, unfortunately, those other things come in. Imposter syndrome comes in. It might be, the doubt comes in. Am I actually good enough for this? Can I actually do this? You might suddenly start going to that scarcity mindset again. These are all things that I have dealt with recently again. And I thought I dealt with a lot of these things with like inner subconscious healing that I've done and transformation, but yet I allowed these things to just get in a little bit too much. So I had to really dig deep and remind myself this is just rubbish. This not fact. I know that what I've got is great. I know that I'm capable. And know that you are enough. Know that you are capable and know that you are amazing. And you can re-look at testimonials, re-look at any feedback that you've had previously. Remind yourself of some of those lovely words that maybe people have given you. Or if you've not done that before, tell yourself, I can do this. I can do this. I'm going to make a difference because you have got enough inside of you. So just remind yourself as much as you need that you are amazing and you are enough and you are more than capable. And just because it may not have worked this time doesn't mean it won't next time. The number 7, almost forgot how many fingers. Number 7 is then try again. The worst thing that we can do is stop and give up and move on to the next thing. How many have you ever gone, okay, maybe that offer sucked, and you almost start going into creation mode, something from scratch? Don't try not to fall into that. Try again. Take all these 6 steps and then make that plan. Assess, make the plan, and then have another go. Because sometimes once isn't enough. And like I mentioned, sometimes it can just be one little tweak is all you need to change things. It's all about having the right message to the right people and being the right time. Well, I know that one of my most recent launches, it was right around Black Friday. It wasn't intentional. It was just one of those things. I kind of forgot about Black Friday and I'd already planned it in and started promoting. And I know that I think one of the big reasons why my recent one, I got one sign up for a workshop that I did. It wasn't quite as successful as I'd liked. But Black Friday is a noisy time. So that was one of the lessons. So, but I'm going to try again. I'm going to try again another time. And I'm not letting it get in my way and stop me. I did my cry. I had my bit of a rant. I felt a little pity party for a second. And then I went through these steps and it's like, okay, it's gone. I know I got one person. That was great. She had an amazing experience. I've now got, lovely feedback from it and off we go. And I can use that if I want to promote that again. Use these 6 tips: assessing, refining, optimizing, and choose what you'll do differently next time. This really is the key to success. And you're going to keep doing that until you're one of those success stories. You're going, oh my God, I had the most amazing launch. Or, it might be just a promotion of something that you're doing. And this is the stuff that unfortunately isn't being talked about. You only really hear about the successes, the successful launches, the successful campaigns. And so just know that it is completely normal. We're normalizing it officially. I'm going to, call it. Every single person who's running a business will have had some kind of flop. So know that you're not alone. It's not you. It's just part of the process. It's a whole skill. There's so many skills that come into play. So sometimes you just got to go, okay, that was the first go. The first time doing anything new is hard and it doesn't quite go to plan. But just know that at the end of the day, you just got to keep going. So get back on that horse. Have another go. Will ensure that you will then get the results that you're looking for. Don't look at your flop as though it's a failure. Everything is an opportunity for you to learn what not to do, learn what to do. That's where that assessment piece is really key. And if you feel like you need a bit more support on any of these things, whether it's the mindset piece or if it's some of those tactical things, then I can help you. This is what I do for my clients. I help to deal with those doubt devils, the imposter syndrome, and really deal with those things from the root cause on a subconscious level. And I can help you create that plan, help you be able to look at what happened, look at those numbers, know what to track, and all the things to help you come up with a plan. So if you want to be able to kind of take this and relaunch what you've created and you want a bit of help with these steps, then let's just chat. Get in touch. We can look at what you need help with. And one of my programs is the best fit for that. We can dive in. It's a one-to-one thing that we can do. And we really look at how we can leverage your talents, leverage your time, and give you the ultimate self-trust and self-belief along the way. So if you want to learn any more, message me, we can talk, or have a look around this episode and see how we can work together. Good luck with your next launch, and I can't wait to see you celebrate.